Who the devil is the devil? It's not Johnny. Unless it is
No,
Johnny.
it's not. It definitely is not. I've had zero contact with AEW ever in my life. So, too bad. It's not me.
Well, that's disappointing. You're one of my favorite
that's the way it is.
wrestlers.
Appreciate that, but zero contact. Not
What are you
me.
doing, Tony Khan? Johnny North would make a great devil. He's kind of a nice guy.
But it is encouraging to just have people randomly show up in backstage segments and like, oh, that's a new character. So there's hope for everybody.
Does that happen?
Thanks.
It happened this week on Dynamite. That
With
Mariah May?
Mariah May, yeah.
May, yeah.
Who's that?
Well, exactly. But, she just showed up. She's just there now.
I've heard of her, though. I think I've heard of her. She wrestles in Japan, Stardom, I think. I mean,
Okay.
I've never seen her wrestle, but I know that people are excited about her being in AEW. I've seen talk. I've heard tell of Mariah May, but I don't know much about her. I think, who knows? If she wrestled in Japan, she's probably a good wrestler. She seems to be, she looks like a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Well, she's not the devil. I think we can easily say that. 'Cause that'd be very disappointing, I think.
It could be Britt Baker.
Yeah, I guess. But I guess we'll just get right into it right now. I guess you saw CM Punk's latest posting online. I guess that's what brought up this. No, you didn't see that. Okay, wow.
No.
So I guess that's what really sparked it, I think, today was the whole devil stuff. Because CM Punk posted something, I think, on Instagram. Something about, like, the devil and, like, it was all in blood. It was a reference back to the whole feud with MJF. Like, he's great right now, Punk, at, like, sparking the fires for possibly going to WWE, possibly going to AEW. He's good at playing both of those ends right now. And that seems to be what he's doing. Because he also made a comment to Grayson Waller on Instagram. So he's playing both ends right now. You didn't see this stuff. I'm surprised. It was all over X.
What did CM Punk post exactly on Instagram? I'm not seeing
Just
anything.
something about, like, you're not seeing anything. It was just, he had that picture. Remember when he was all bloodied up when MJF bloodied him up?
I'm seeing that, yeah.
Yeah, and there's like a caption to it about how, like, it's the devil you don't know, or kind of something like that.
Met the devil himself. Is
There
the
you
caption.
go. There you go. There, you found it then.
And he posted this 8 hours ago.
Right. So he knows what he's doing. He's getting people hyped up. Everyone's like,
teasing.
oh, he's going to show up. Is he going to be a Full Gear? Is he going to be a Survivor Series? It's working because people are all over it now.
What do you think is more likely?
Whew, it's tough. I want to say Survivor Series is more likely because, I mean, he did actually get fired from AEW. And the idea that it's all a work, that they deliberately had him pulled from a pay-per-view in Chicago and pulled from all... There you go.
Go ahead.
Just, to pull him from Chicago, pull him from all those events to, like, actually lose money. To pull his merchandise just for a great storyline. I mean, it's amazing if they actually did that, but I find that hard to believe.
Yeah. It didn't feel like a storyline when the Young Bucks were celebrating in the ring after he was fired. Right? And if he is to come back, like, how does that all play out? What is the situation there? Kenny
obviously,
did you
wrestle
see
MJF, right?
Yeah, he would probably wrestle MJF, but how does he coexist in the locker room and, all that?
Right.
Kenny Omega told the Young Bucks that they were behaving like children. He said this on Dynamite.
What they said in response, the response to it It's like, oh, well, I guess we needed to hear from someone like you for us to understand, to really hear it, for it
Mm-hmm.
to really click in, you know?
Yeah.
So again, shots being thrown.
But what is really being said there?
I mean, everyone takes everything as a reference, right? You know, Nakamura does the GTS. Oh, he's going to wrestle Punk at Survivor Series, you know? So everyone takes everything. And Punk runs with it too. Like, Punk knows what he's doing. Like, he knows how people are thinking, and he's sparking the fires.
Leor says CM Punk is a pro wrestling version of Conor McGregor at this point, trying to stay relevant by posting on social media. That's a good one. Alex Tara says R-Truth is the devil. I don't think so.
I don't think so, yeah. I think he's come back to wrestling soon in WWE.
You think it'll be WWE? Survivor Series?
No, R-Truth
Oh,
come
R-Truth.
back. Saying that, yeah.
Okay.
But if you ask me AEW or WWE, I think CM Punk would go to WWE right now. I think, but wait and see. Maybe he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. That might be,
That'd be a huge, disappointment for a lot of people, I think.
Mm-hmm. But it's possible, though, right?
A lot's possible right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun to speculate and get interested.
AEW's really put something in motion here with the whole devil storyline. The masked character that they have built up over weeks now needs a good payoff. I think wrestling fans at this point are captivated, are interested, and are invested in who the devil may be. And AEW has to deliver on the devil. It has to be something, because the speculation already of it's CM Punk. What's the other speculation? Britt Baker,
Right.
Jungle Boy.
By watching
Jungle Boy, maybe.
Jungle Boy's another one. By watching the TV show, the way I would look at it's Adam Cole. Regardless that he can wrestle or not, it just makes the most sense that it's him. Plus, there's 4 goons, by the way. I'm wondering who the 4 goons are.
Yep.
So that's also another mystery to solve.
I wonder how they put it all together. I wonder how they figure it all out. Because if it's not Punk, I think their options are not great. You know? I think best case...
You're not big on Adam Cole?
I mean, it's just kind of obvious.
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole is the one who helped MJF. Okay, I mean...
But also hurt the Acclaimed, which MJF didn't want.
Okay. Because Adam Cole, wants MJF all to himself? Like, what is the motivation, even?
It's a good question. What's happening right now? Rampage. Someone's getting attacked.
I think isn't that Ortiz?
Yeah, I think you're right. It is Ortiz.
I think Satnam Singh is attacking Ortiz. Jeff Jarrett seems quite happy about it.
Because I think Ortiz attacked all of Jeff Jarrett's gang.
By himself?
But he couldn't take down Satnam. Yeah, but
yeah.
Satnam will put him down. Interesting random stuff that happens on Rampage.
Ryan Katz saying the glass spot may have been a CM Punk Jungle Boy reference, right? So at the end of Dynamite, if you did not see Dynamite, Jay White beats Mark Briscoe. MJF showed up from behind after the match, took out Juice and the Ass Boys with the diamond ring. Jay White escaped. MJF cut a promo on White and Full Gear and all of that. Then the lights went out. And the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass are getting beat up backstage by 4 masked thugs. And then Bowens from the Acclaimed thrown through the window of what looked like a fake office that they had set up backstage. And the glass looked quite fake as well. And then the
Some random
devil,
person.
and then the
Did you see
devil
that?
appeared on the screen. Say it again? Yeah, there was a random
There was
person
like
in the office, just like a guy to make it
I
look
mean,
like a real office.
the glass broke. He just ran away.
Yeah. No concern. He's just like scared.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the masked goons are kind of intimidating, I suppose. And then
I
MJF
think
ran
it's
backstage
exciting.
and saw his friends all beat up. And then Samoa Joe was like, hey, looks like you ran out of friends. Or have you? Because Samoa Joe's whole thing is he wants to be MJF's backup because his whole deal is if he agrees to help MJF, MJF must give him a title shot, and Samoa Joe really wants to be AEW champion, which is a whole other thing. Or is it? Is it all intertwined somehow? Beats me.
Well, I think the belief is it's going to be Joe MJF at the pay-per-view in December, unless we get a reveal of who the mask guy is that pushes it to that. But I think Joe MJF is probably the next main event pay-per-view.
When do you think we get a reveal of the devil?
I mean, Full Gear makes sense, no? Why not? At the pay-per-view?
Yeah. I would hope so.
Things happen. Then you gotta tune in for Dynamite. What's gonna happen now?
The more you drag it out, the bigger the expectations, too. You know?
Well, yeah. That too. I mean, there's only so long you can do the beatdowns and the attacks and the little displays on the screen. So it's like, okay, let's wrap this up. I think Full Gear is the time to do it. I think if you wait until December, you're dragging it too much.
Mm-hmm. It all started with Jay White and attacking him.
Yep.
It should end with the Jay White match. Adam Cole makes
You're right.
sense, but it kind of doesn't. CM Punk would make sense.
But that seems unlikely.
I mean, it's probably going to be Chris Jericho.
No.
Yeah, because whenever there's like a hot thing in AEW, Jericho kind of jumps on and like it becomes him. It's going to wind up being Jericho. They'll have no ideas, and Jericho will be like, it was me. I was doing both at the same time. My thing with Kenny and this. Why not?
It does make sense.
Jericho wants a shot at the belt. He's angry that MJF is champion and he's not. I don't know. It could always make sense. It could easily be Jericho. People wouldn't like it, but if they have no options. Like, I don't know what else you do. Do you hire, like, Elias and then make it him? You know? Like, who's out there?
No.
I mean, who's out there? What do you do?
Well, I think we listed all the options. Adam Cole, Britt Baker, Jack Perry, or CM Punk. Those are your options. Anything less or anyone else, and it's disappointing.
I think Britt Baker and Jack Perry are disappointing.
Okay, I didn't say that they were top. I'm just saying possibilities. They're top possibilities.
Yeah. But I think if you present that, the fans will go, okay. You know?
Yeah, but I could see it, though.
I don't know. They don't have a ton of options. Unless...
You kind of want it to be Punk in the end because it's the best option.
You know, unless it's Vince McMahon. He's been selling a lot of his TKO stock. He seems to be possibly on his way out of that whole company. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Shane McMahon? Stephanie? Perhaps? Ooh.
Not after what Shane's son said about AEW. I don't think so.
What did he say?
He said he doesn't watch that junk.
Well, why would he? He's in McMahon. He's Vince's grandson.
The same. Like, he would say something more positive, I think, or not, like, trash.
Yeah.
Them so much.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they've built something up here with this devil character. They've got a lot of people interested, and they have to deliver. People are mad at them because they hired Ric Flair. You know, people want something from AEW.
Yeah, but I don't know about this. Like, to me, it's like people are upset that they promote Ric Flair. He's like the top billing on the North Carolina like show they have, I think, January, and it's like, well, it's North Carolina. You have Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Like that's just smart. Like, I'm sorry if like you and wherever you live don't like it, but people in North Carolina see Ric Flair, they're gonna want to go. So
Yeah.
like whatever beef you have, like who cares? Ric Flair sells tickets in North Carolina, morons.
Yeah. Sorry.
So,
and the Hulkster
like,
sells
too bad.
tickets in Tampa, brother. You better believe it.
He did. Hogan did get booed though in Tampa the last time he was there.
Oh, that's yeah,
Heavily.
but that was WrestleMania. It's not just Tampa people there.
That's true. That's true.
It's not fair to Terry. Don't be unfair to Big Terry. Oh, damn. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this devil thing. I hope it's good.
They kind of need it to be good at this point. They need more good than bad because they got a lot of bad press lately, sadly, for them.
Yeah. And I have seen a theory that it's Tony Khan. I don't like that theory.
Nah, that's terrible. That's that again. Anything less than the things that we said, like, it's not going to work. Did you see the new attendance numbers for the Montreal shows now? Came out
good.
the other day. I think it's 5,000 now for Dynamite. Or no, 4,000, sorry. Or close to 4,000 for Dynamite.
At the Bell Center?
Yeah, not very good. Bell Center, 4,000 Dynamite, a little over 2,000 for Collision.
That's it?
That's it.
I can't wait. I'm going to both shows. They're going to feel so empty. It's going to be so weird. Have you ever been at an event at the Bell Center with 2,000 people there in that giant arena? It's going to feel so weird.
We've done it before with SmackDown. Remember that SmackDown Tuesday they did one time?
There's no
way.
Empty
for that.
Yeah, but not 2,000 people.
Probably not 2,000, but it definitely was not a lot. It was definitely under 10,000 for sure.
Okay, but 8,000 is still more than 2,000, and it feels way different. You know, 2,000 at the Bell Center is nuts. 2,000 at the Bell Center, most people just cancel the show.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're still a month away. And I think what they need to do, they'll do it probably, is just lower the ticket prices. Because right now it's just way too much.
Yeah. They have to. That is nuts.
Maybe a 2-for-1 deal, you know? That's not a bad idea. Should have happened in the first place.
Let's see what tickets are like. What kind of tickets can we get for AEW? What do we want to go to? Collision or Dynamite, John?
Well, Collision's cheaper, so go to Collision first.
All right, let's go to the cheap show. Let's go to Collision, baby. On Tuesday, December 5th at the Bell Center, which I'm already going to. I already bought tickets at full price, which I'm pissed off about because I feel like, you know?
I'll let you know when I get my $10 tickets.
Yeah, thanks, John. Give me a discount, Tony Khan. I want my money back, bro. What are you doing? Wow, there's a lot of tickets available. There's tons.
Well, it's only set up for 5,000 too.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
Boom. There it is.
That's
for Collision. There's all the seats that are still available. That is crazy.
Wow.
That is crazy. And they have sold nothing over here because they're not selling anything over here because this is where the hard camera is going to be, and they will not sell any tickets there. They will not open up any of these sections. None of these hard cam sections where I'm pointing the mouse there. None of these are going to be opened for sale ever because they have to sell all of these first in blue, and they're not gonna. Jeez.
No,
Ringside.
no. What's the lowest? What's the lowest ticket price?
Look at this. Ringside, $665 for a single seat ringside. Wait. My advice is wait.
Yeah.
Right behind this guy, $459. You save like $200 for one row. You got to be first row, brother.
Right.
Cheapest ticket, probably around here in the upper deck skis. What do we got? This isn't even upper deck. This is what, 200
It
level?
isn't even upper deck, yeah.
No, it's not 300 level. It's 200 level. They're not opening up the 300 level because they're not selling tickets. $110, which is still not cheap.
What? It's not cheap for that. Wow.
You know?
That's the cheapest ticket right now?
That's what it looks
It's
like.
110? Wow. Yeah, they got to lower that.
I don't know. They're
That's too
saying
much.
103 roti, $42. What is this? Where is this? Oh, they have tickets
Oh, that's
over
still in the
here.
reds, but that's a
Really
little bit,
bad ones over
opposite
here.
direction, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Uh-huh.
And these are cheaper.
Okay, there you go. They got something
$42. You sit over here in the
Right.
reds.
It's still, yeah,
It's not
you're in
bad.
the reds. It's not bad. Yeah.
You can get tickets here for $42. Right there, single seat, $42. It's not bad. It's not bad. But those prices will probably drop too because they're not selling anything. Crazy. That's Collision. And
No,
Dynamite is not much better. It's a bit better, but Collision is like, it's a month away.
Well, I imagine Dynamite's even more expensive because that's probably a tape show, Collision, right? Dynamite being a live TV show, they're probably charging more for Dynamite. I'm guessing. Well,
problem
you
is,
probably
too,
know better.
Yeah, I think Dynamite is probably more expensive. I don't know.
You know your tickets.
The problem is, you don't know who's going to be on what show. That's another thing with AEW. Yeah. They do two different shows, and you don't know what ticket to buy because you don't know who's going to be where. You don't know what you're even going to get. Because on any given week, you might get Edge wrestling or you might get no Edge at all. You might get Bryan Danielson or he may be injured. You might get Chris Jericho or not. You know, like, you don't know what you're going to get on any given week for an AEW live event. It's not a consistent show. That's another thing with AEW. If you really pay attention to the product, it's like, well, some weeks it's really good and some weeks you're like, what the hell was that? And you don't want to be, you don't want the what the hell was that show to be in your town because then that's what you see. I don't think there's a lot of trust built in for AEW. I don't know. It's not like the WWE, you know?
Yeah, but it's a back-to-back night. So you would think they'd bring down pretty much the whole roster because they'd have to do double duty. So
yeah,
you think you'd see pretty much everybody. I know for a fact we're not going to see JR because JR is taking some time off. But that's because of injuries and all that. So, But besides that, and maybe we won't see Ric Flair. Who knows? But for the most part, you'd hope you see most people. You'd hope we see Sting because it could be the last time ever. More than likely, will be the last time Sting appears in Montreal, wrestles. Like that was kind of cool in Dynamite.
Yeah,
but it was cool in Dynamite this week.
Yeah,
even the match wasn't much of anything, but still cool to see Sting wrestle.
Yeah,
do something.
Yeah, but we don't know what to expect. I am expecting good stuff because, like I said, I'm going to both shows, so I know I'm going to get something out of those shows. I just don't know what show is going to be better. I don't know what show I'm going to want to go to more. I don't know, I'm hoping for something awesome, but you never know. Like, I'm watching something right now on AEW that's like, oh, if I was watching this live, this Rampage live, I would not be too thrilled. This is a live Rampage, too?
Is it live? Really?
Yeah.
They didn't tape this. Wow.
No, Dynamite was in Portland this week, and they are in Oakland tonight for Rampage, and they are in Oakland tomorrow for Collision.
Ah, okay.
I'm not sure if Collision's been taped already. They just did a double shot of Collision Rampage tonight, or they're going back in Oakland tomorrow. But I think it's probably just did a double shot, right? Because they're not, like, what else are they doing? They're not just going to fill an arena in Oakland for a 1-hour TV show, right? They probably did Collision too.
Well,
or they're going to do
like
Collision now.
They could have done Ring of Honor tapings, and that could have like really easily filled up a good 2 hours.
Yeah, but I think they'll probably. I think, like, my best guess would be that they're doing Collision right after this Rampage, because it'll only be like 8:00 in Oakland, so they can do, Collision right after. You know what I'm saying? Tape that, air it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? West Coast time. You get it.
Yeah, it makes sense. No, it makes sense, and plus you don't have to book the same, 2 different shows, 2 different nights. Saves on cost.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably what's happening.
Angelo saying cheapest tickets for Dynamite in Montreal is $110. No. So that's cheapest ticket for Dynamite, $110. They didn't have those $42 tickets yet.
That's what you get for a live show. It's more expensive.
Yeah.
For now. Oh, we're getting flowers? Okay, now we're getting more of that Ruby Soho and Angelo storyline here.
Well,
something's happening.
I saw tickets for Travis Scott went on sale. And Travis Scott is coming in January. And I was on the floor for the Travis Scott show like 5 years ago, and I think tickets were between $200 and $300 for a floor ticket. And now I saw the tickets for the next show. It's like $650 on the floor.
Wow.
It's like doubled in price in 5 years. More than doubled in price, which is
inflation.
Excessive. And I didn't think his last album was that good. Like his new album there, I was like, yeah. So I'm not going. I'm not doing that. I'm getting too old for that too. Come on. Not happening.
You go to enough shows a year anyway. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm getting too old for everything. I'm not doing all that. I don't need to go to Travis Scott anymore. 5 years ago, maybe. Now, get it together. All right.
If Eminem came back, you'd go see him. Come on.
Eminem?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's more my age, I think. That's more appropriate for my age group. I think if you go to an Eminem show, it's mostly guys my age with backwards baseball caps going, yeah, yeah. You know?
I'm sure there's a bunch of kids too. Don't worry.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you should call Slim Shady and see if he will come here so we can see. How about that? If Kanye came here, I would definitely go. Like, that's...
You think that's going to happen?
I don't care what it costs. I would go to see Kanye West. I don't care how much... No, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know if he'll ever tour again.
Right.
But the last tour that he did was the greatest show that I've ever seen, ever. It was incredible. The St. Pablo tour from Kanye West was the greatest live show of all time. Crazy.
I think if any of them do live shows again, it'll be in Saudi Arabia, so you have to make the trip there.
Cool.
I want you to go there.
That sounds fun. I was thinking, man, we should go to Saudi Arabia and do like this show in Saudi Arabia. I think it would be big. They seem to love combat sports and pro wrestling. Do they have good shows like this over there? I think we should go work for them.
I think they have like restrictions and regulations with that, and like they kind of, if they have a problem with you, they'll end you kind of thing. So I don't know.
Damn. I'll be cool.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, you said some things that I think they'd be upset with on your post show last.
I take it back.
So you take it back. Yeah, well, they'll take something for you too. So
they got take backs. They don't do take backs. What's the problem?
They just have end games. That's it.
How about forgive and forget, my friend? How about that? How about we're all cool? I mean, they do some things. It's a little shady. Saudi Arabia. Sometimes you go, ooh, what's going on there? But they got lots of money, man. What are you going to do?
A lot of people like them. They have money.
Everybody's taking the money. UFC, big boxing, WWE, they're all doing shows in Saudi Arabia. I'm starting to think maybe I should just go to Saudi Arabia. It's the new fight capital of the world. They got weed in Saudi Arabia?
Things I don't know if you want to test out there,
Like, I wonder, do they? Like, what's the deal? If they don't, like, I don't know. Maybe not.
I think you're okay if you have money. If you don't have money, you might be in trouble.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
questionable.
So, AEW got Mariah May. She debuted on Dynamite. What else happened on Dynamite? The Ass Boys beat the Bollywood Boys.
MJF had a good match to start the show against Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Beat him with the armbar there. Always good to see MJF wrestling on Dynamite. He's wrestling a lot more these days.
Well, if his contract's come to an end, try to get him wrestling as much as possible now.
But there was a time when he wasn't wrestling that much, He wrestled Kenny a couple weeks ago or a week ago on Collision. Right? He's wrestling on Dynamite. The Daniel Garcia match was a bit of a surprise. I was like, really? He's wrestling again? He wrestled last week on Dynamite?
Well, it makes me feel his reign's coming to an end, possibly. Because usually that's what happens when a champion, his reign is coming to an end. He keeps defending the title excessively, and it catches up to him.
Does Jay White beat him?
I don't think it's Jay White, but I can see Joe. If Joe gets the rematch, I think Joe could beat him.
I can see Jay White beating him.
Nah, because Jay pinned him already.
So? Proved he could beat him.
That's it. That's all he gets. I know you like Jay
Maybe MJF
White,
just can't beat Jay White. Maybe that's the story.
I know you like Jay White, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I don't know. See, this is the thing, John. It's not that I love Jay White and I think Jay White is the best. I do think Jay White is pretty damn good. I am a fan of Jay White's for sure. But I just, I followed the career of Jay White, and I think I followed it a little closer than you have, right? Like in New Japan and stuff. And he's had these moments in his career where you go, nah, he's not going to win. And then he does. And you go, what? Jay White is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion? He just beat Okada? Really? And then they have a rematch, and you're like, oh, surely Kazu will beat him this time. And then he doesn't? And you go, what? Jay White just beat Okada again? Like, it's just the way he's booked. I mean, he had been booked in New Japan. And if AEW is going to do what I think they're going to do with him, which is make him one of their kind of the cornerstones of their company, I could see Jay White winning here. I could see him easily getting booked like he had been booked in New Japan and winning the world title and surprising a lot of people. Because people don't really see it coming, but in the end, why not? He's got a whole group of guys around him. He's a hell of a wrestler. He's got everything you would want. He's young. He should be, part of the future of AEW. I don't know if it happens. I'm not saying I want it to happen, because I really like MJF, and I would like MJF to hold the title. And of course, he's got the match. Well, he doesn't necessarily have a match, but they have the pay-per-view called World's End,
Yes.
on Long Island, where MJF is from, on December 30th. You would think he'd carry the title there. But, maybe not. Maybe something else is going on with MJF. Some other match. I'm not ruling it out. I think MJF does win. I think, if I had to place a bet, I would bet on MJF. But Jay White, though, man, things happen with Jay White, though. I've watched him win matches where I go, they booked him to do that. Not saying AEW is going to do it the same way, but I don't know. He surprises me. It's not like he's doing it, really winning the matches, but it's just the character Jay White. He's unexpected.
Well, he's been booked very well, but I think he's been booked very well to get to this position where he'll finally lose a match. And let's remember this. I mentioned this before. This is his first big pay-per-view match. He didn't have a lot of big singles matches leading up to this. He was in tag matches leading up to this. So, if you're going to build him to be your next big pay-per-view main event draw, you would think they would have had him in big singles matches leading up to this. They did not. So that, to me, that just leads me to believe that they want to give him the opportunity. They think he's great, but he's just another step for MJF to go through off the many steps he has in his way right now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I do wonder what opponent they might have lined up for MJF. The future is interesting. The Devil. The World's End pay-per-view. Jason Pete on Twitch says, A, they don't have weed in Saudi Arabia. B, if they find your weed, you will find the desert face down. Well, maybe no Saudi Arabia for me. Oh, well. It was a nice dream while it lasted. Lasted about 5 minutes. Swerve Strickland beat Pentagon in a solid match on Dynamite. Swerve trying to take Penta's mask off after the match. Hangman Page showed up with a chair and chased Swerve to the stage and hit him with the chair a bunch of times. Then he hit security with the chair. Then he hit the Deadeye off the stage through 2 tables. And the refs had to pull Hangman away. Hangman and Swerve rematch at Full Gear. A lot of rematches at Full Gear, right? Hangman, Swerve, Moxley and Orange, Shida and Storm, right?
We're going to get this now because now there's more pay-per-views. So now feuds are going to extend. It's kind of like WWE. How feuds extended 3 pay-per-views. Hopefully it's not going to be that bad, but we're going to see a lot more rematches now because of this. Too many pay-per-views, you have to have rematches.
I like that they gave us a Tony Storm, Hikaru Shida backstage interview. I like that they finally gave Shida some promo time. It wasn't the best, but at least we heard her speak. We saw some character from her. Huh?
I couldn't really make out a lot of what she was saying.
Yeah. But at least she spoke. I was happy to just see the promo. I was like, oh, they're trying. I mean, Tony was kind of carrying the segment. It was, it was what it was. It's getting over to a certain degree.
I finally realized, because I missed, because this was in picture-in-picture, I guess, where they introduced Luther as her butler.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was introduced in a thing, picture-in-picture. But yeah, that's Luther from that Chaos Project.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho's friend. They've recasted him now as the butler for Tony Storm. So
he carries the shoe on the pillow.
Yes.
Because that's her catchphrase now. She has a catchphrase, which it was cool when she said it once, but now that she's made it her catchphrase, it's all right, what are you even talking about? Wait, what is it? Chin up, tits out, watch out for the shoe?
Yep. She has a shirt for that.
It says tits on it?
Well, it says, chin up, tits out. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Are you like, come on, out of all the wrestling t-shirts that we've seen over the years, like that is like you're blown away by this? I can't believe this. Come on.
I mean, I'm just a little surprised that it says that on a t-shirt. Tits out? It says that on a shirt? Jesus, it does.
I mean, it just says it.
Fucking
It's not like
ridiculous.
it's not like graphically displayed or anything,
No, it's a t-shirt that says chin up, tits out. What do you mean?
Right.
That's not graphic. It's pretty crude. That's a pretty crude fucking statement to make on your t-shirt. Chin up, tits out. What? Tony Storm? Oh, what? How is that a shirt?
Well, it's over, right? I mean, you know about it. I'm sure when other people saw it, they went crazy and like they'll sell anything really as a shirt. So why not?
I mean, maybe watch out for the shoe, but chin up, tits out in big letters. That is, who's wearing that? Who's buying that shirt and going, yeah, this is what I want to wear today. Chin up, tits out, baby. What?
I can see a lot of people wearing that.
Yeah, a lot of weird people.
We have shirts that say, daddy ass on it, like, come on.
Scissor me, daddy ass.
Exactly.
Yep. I couldn't wear that. I mean, I would just, people would wonder what the hell what is that? What do you mean? You walking around, imagine walking around, chin up, tits out, people look at you like, what? What's going on with you?
Well, again, it's like, the scissor me daddy ass thing, like you're walking around with that. What are people going to think?
I don't know.
Personally, I think that's a great, like, Father's Day gift. If your son ever thinks we'll give you a gift, that'd be awesome.
That's a great Father's Day gift. Scissor me daddy ass. Oh, man.
Fantastic. But it goes to show they'll make anything into a t-shirt, so I'm not surprised by this whatsoever.
Chin up, tits out. Tony Storm t-shirt. Unbelievable. Jericho and Kenny interviewed backstage. The Young Bucks showed up. They want to know, why Kenny's hanging out with Jericho so much and how come he's not doing elite things. And then they get all upset and Jericho wants a match and the Bucks want a match and Jericho says, okay, you got to put your tag title shot on the line. And then Matt Jackson says, when they win, the Golden Jets have to break up, and Kenny has to come back to the Elite. So they have a match now against each other. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Bucks.
Right, yeah.
Bucks versus Kenny and Jericho. Kind of came out of nowhere. Well, what is this whiny Young Bucks situation? Why? And I guess the Bucks are going to lose, and then Kenny and Jericho will get the tag title shot? I guess. That's what I feel like.
Really?
No?
I didn't understand that was happening. I just thought it's a match they need. I mean, it really could go either way. I mean, does Kenny and Jericho need to be a tag team? I don't think so. I think however the story dictates they need to go, like if they feel the Bucks going for the tag team titles makes sense, yeah, like Golden Jets don't need to be together. But a lot depends on who wins that match, because I think it's going to be FTR against Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
Yeah.
At Full Gear, I'm guessing, right? So it depends who wins that one, I think.
Makes sense.
Depends who wins that, I think. Really depends on that match, I think. Oh, Tombstone Power Drive right there. Oh, near fall.
FTR is wrestling right now.
They are wrestling right now. They're wrestling Commander and Vikino.
Okay. Cool. Is this for anything, or is just the main event of Rampage?
Just the main event.
Okay. So Jericho and Kenny against the Bucks. I think it'll be a good match. I don't know. It came out of nowhere. I don't really understand.
Are the Bucks heels now?
Yeah, that's it. I'm not sure what's going on with the Bucks. This sudden turn. I didn't understand why Samoa Joe beat Keith Lee, retained his Ring of Honor television title, and then he cut a promo after the match saying he's the greatest Ring of Honor television champion of all time, but he wants more and now is vacating the Ring of Honor television title. And he wants the AEW world title, and that'll be the next belt on his shoulder, whether MJF likes it or not. Just giving up the belt? It's kind of weird.
I mean, yes and no. Because, like, the way I look at it, if you're the champion, you have to make title defenses, right? But if you're not the champion, you're no longer obligated to defend the title. And you can focus more on getting other championships. So instead of being drawn into, like, oh, I have to be on Ring of Honor all the time, or wrestling on Collision, wrestling on Dynamite, defending the title, I can just focus on the AEW World Championship. Plus, like, just to vacate the title, it shows to me that they believe in Samoa Joe so much that they don't want him to lose. They want to keep him so strong that he'll vacate the title that he's held longer than anyone. To me, that makes him like one of the strongest contenders right now for the world title, because that's how much faith they have in him, and that's how much they want to keep him strong.
You want this, eh? You want Joe as champion.
I wouldn't mind seeing him. I'm for it if it happens. And FTR just won. But I'm not winning too. Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it's definitely leading to something. Wardlow is chasing MJF too. A lot of people chasing MJF. Everything kind of swirling around MJF right now, which is good. It's good for AEW. I saw Sting and Darby Allin wrestle. I didn't see Ric Flair with them.
Well, Rick's not going to be there every week.
I thought he was. That's what he said.
No, I think he's only on like select shows or whatever. He's not there all the time.
Okay. Well, I hope he comes here. See him. I like the Nature Boy.
That'll be interesting. We'll probably see him at Full Gear, but I don't know if we'll see him like every random show.
Montreal's a good place to party. Ric Flair likes to party. Come on.
Well, wait and see. I mean, they want to sell Collision. Get stars. That's going to help sell Collision.
Yeah. WWE, you know months in advance who is going to be on the show. They show you a commercial. They're like, this person, see Cody Rhodes, see that, you know, you have a good sense of who's going to be on the show. AEW has not really done that.
Well, I would say the major problem is advertising. Like, besides us and, other people that are hardcore into, like, keeping up to date with wrestling, who really knows what's going on? Like, it's hard to know. Unless you're keeping up to date with everything, you wouldn't know. Like, walking around Montreal, you have no idea AEW's coming. With WWE, there's always at least something, some sort of advertisement going around, commercials or anything, billboards. Here, nothing for AEW. That's a huge problem.
Yep. See the little ad for the UFC pay-per-view during SmackDown?
It's every week they have that now.
Cross-promotion. It's begun. Speaking of the TKO group, they're looking for a new home for Monday Night Raw. As it was announced, I guess about a month ago, that SmackDown is moving from Fox to the USA Network. And now NXT just signing a deal this week to be on the CW Network in the United States for 5 years. SmackDown used to be on CW Network, I think, right?
It was. That was more of the dark days of SmackDown, I think. I don't feel SmackDown was very good back then, or I remember like just not wanting to watch SmackDown back then, to be honest. I didn't think it was very interesting.
And a lot of movement for the WWE. There's talk that Raw may move over to FX, according to Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer.
Which is a step down.
From USA Network?
Yeah, USA has a bigger reach than FX. Like, I'm kind of surprised by that. Like, I'm kind of. It feels kind of like with the when they went to Spike TV, like they're getting probably going to get a great offer, right? But it doesn't have the same reach, right? And I don't know if this is the greatest idea, but they're still on the USA Network with SmackDown, so they're still always going to have a partnership with them.
Hang on, John. I'm just checking it out, and USA Network is in 90.4 million households in the United States, according to a 2018, according to data from that year. And from the same year, FX available to 89.2 million homes. So it's basically
okay.
I mean,
basically the same.
Yeah.
It's the ratings to the problem, I think. USA, more people actually watch USA Network, where FX, not so many people watch it as much.
Do they? What are you basing this on?
Again, like you based off Meltzer. Meltzer, I think, said the same thing. More people watch the USA Network than FX. Or at least like they had more highly critical shows or whatever.
What? How is that possible? What is on USA Network? I have seen shows on FX that I liked. FX has had good shows.
But some shows, like, they start good and they just go down.
I have never seen a good USA Network show.
Well, you watch Raw every week.
Yeah, but that's not the point. You know, I'm talking about the actual channel. I think FX is a much better channel than USA Network. The original programming from FX. FX had what do they have? They got Snowfall. That was a good one. They had Louis, the Louis C.K. show. That was a good one. They've got that other show. I haven't seen all of it, but it's pretty good with Pamela Adlon. What is it, Better Things or something? What's that called? I don't know what it's called.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
No, that's all right. That woman, she's Bobby Hill, you know.
Really?
Yeah, the woman in that show. You know that show I'm talking about? What's that show called on FX?
Speaking of shows, we're going to get review of the new Fraser show?
Better Things. That's on FX. That's a good show. Pamela Adlon's in that. She's the voice of Bobby Hill. You better show some goddamn respect. And what else has been on FX that's been good? What We Do in the Shadows. I know a lot of people like that. That's a popular show. I've seen some of that. It's pretty funny. FX has good programming. And I know I'm forgetting some stuff. I'm pretty sure The Shield was an FX show, and that was pretty good. FX has had good shows over the years. What the hell is USA Network produced? I challenge your dismissal of FX as a move for Raw. I think it's a good move for Raw. I think it's a better channel than USA Network. Fargo,
wow.
American Horror Story, all FX shows. Thank you. Yeah, Fargo is really good. New season of Fargo coming out with John Hamm. I saw a commercial for when I was watching FX because FX is good. I don't think I was watching FX. I don't have FX. We don't have FX. No, we do have FX.
Canadian equivalent.
Don't we have FX Canada? Is that still a channel? I used to have it, and I don't have it anymore. I don't know why. I used to have FX Canada. Is that still a thing? Do I still have it? I'm not even sure.
Okay. Well,
I think
we'll have to wait and see if this happens or not, because it's not confirmed it's happening in FX, like Raw moving to FX. But that's still a gamble, though. You go into a channel that never had wrestling before. You got to wonder how that's going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah, FX and FXX. I think that's you can still get that in Canada. I like FX. Stop dissing FX. Yeah, UFC was on FX years ago. That's true, Jason. There were some shows on FX. Yeah. And they got a lot of there's good FX shows on Disney Plus. There's nothing from USA Network. What's the USA Network making? I haven't seen anything good USA Network.
No, but like they have a stample on wrestling. Like the fact that Monday Night Raw is on that show, on that channel. Like to watch that. And they have that established fan base to watch every Monday night. Can FX do that? Like, does that have the same kind of, will all the fans go right to FX just for that?
Yes. Why not? Wrestling fans will go where the wrestling is. It's not like all of a sudden it'll be on FX one week and they'll be like, oh no, how do I find Raw? It's like, it's on FX. No,
but look what happened when they moved it before. Not everyone like, oh, I have to get Spike TV. Not everyone gave crap about that. Like, just like, oh, I'm not going to watch Raw.
Well, I think people know. People will figure it out. I think it would be a fine move for WWE as long as they get the money. It's really all about how much.
It's really that. It's just the money. It doesn't matter for like anything else, to be honest.
It's just the about how much they're gonna get.
The same thing with Fox. They didn't get the ratings they needed for Fox, but they got a great deal off that. So, and they had great publicity off that. So, they milked that as long as they could. They still are.
And they moved SmackDown over to USA Network, which is so weird, right? Like, because FX is owned by Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they would be essentially taking SmackDown off of Fox, putting it on USA Network, and then taking Raw off of USA Network and putting it on FX. Oh, Disney bought FX officially? So Fox doesn't own it? So Fox doesn't own FX anymore. Is that the case?
Also, Fox. Like, we can talk about reach again. Fox, I mean, much greater reach than FX. Like, because that's not just.
It's Disney
like
now.
Cable.
It is Disney now. God damn. Everything's
Disney's taking over everything. Don't worry about it. Like, maybe WWE would just end up on Disney Plus. Who knows? It could happen.
That would not be a bad move. Put the whole WWE network on Disney Plus, merge it.
It might happen one day. Disney's buying everything. Why not?
Why not? Makes it easier for me. I mean, at a certain point, there's not going to be that many streaming services, I think. You know how there's like a million different streaming services to get a bunch of different stuff?
Of course.
I feel like at a certain point, there's going to be like 4 or 5.
Why?
Consolidation.
Yeah. Makes sense, but I don't know. Like, I feel if people can get a lot of money off what they're doing, they're just going to milk that and then eventually, do that. But like WWE must be doing okay. $5, whatever it is for just Peacock right now.
Yeah, but it's Peacock that's kind of taking that over.
Yeah, but they have it all set up with that. It's all good. Everything's great with that. And they don't have to worry about it. Peacock takes it over, and they have their deal set with that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, well, for now. It's not permanent. All these companies are going to merge eventually. There's going to be like 3 companies. There's going to be like Disney, Netflix, and Amazon. And that'll be it. Netflix will probably go away. Amazon will buy Netflix at some point. Apple and Disney will become one company. It'll be Apple, Disney, Netflix, Amazon, 2 companies giving you all the things. And WWE will be on one of them.
Well, there will always be rival billionaires and everyone wants their own piece of the pie. So we'll always have competition in some capacity.
Yeah, but with competition comes kind of companies buying other companies up and just kind of consolidating into mega
TKO.
companies. Yeah,
TKO,
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
But we still have AEW. It's a rival. Maybe not as big, but it's still there.
Yeah.
They have their place.
They're not a rival to WWE. They're not. They're not. They're not competition. They're another wrestling company, but they're not like. I mean, look at the goddamn ticket sales for the shows they're doing here, man. They're not putting WWE out of business. They're barely staying afloat themselves. WWE house show will do way better numbers at Place Bell than the two AEW shows combined. They will sell more tickets for Place Bell, a 10,000-seat arena, than AEW will do for 2 nights combined at the 20,000-seat Bell Center, which is pathetic. They are not competition. Okay, you don't know about that, John, but it'll be close. And already look, they got what? 2,000 for Collision, 4,000 for Dynamite. What do they have for Dynamite sold?
Yeah.
4,000. So 6,000. I think they probably sold more for the house show.
Probably. They'll probably get close to a sellout. I wouldn't be surprised. But I expect, because of the lower ticket prices, AEW will sell a lot more tickets, especially for Dynamite, I think. So
currently,
they'll sell.
Currently, though, right? Ticket sales.
Currently, yes.
WWE for one house show has sold more tickets than AEW has for 2 television shows combined.
Right.
And don't tell me WWE is worried about AEW. Don't tell me that their competition, they're not even close. They're not in the same league. Nobody knows what AEW is. The average person on the street, John, that isn't living in the wrestling bubble does not know what AEW is. If you're a wrestling fan, you know. But if you're just a person, you know WWE. You don't know what AEW is. You have no clue.
No, you're right that they aren't a rival in the sense of competing with them, taking them out of business. But I would say a rival in the sense that they're competing for talent. Because that's clearly been happening. We've seen that going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be more apparent recently, where we see some AEW talent going to WWE now. Mm-hmm. And then it goes back and forth. So competition, maybe not in terms of the whole nickel and dimes, but more in terms of who they have on their actual show. They're definitely competing for talent.
Was TNA ever competition to WWE? Talent went back and forth. At some points, they competed for talent. But were they competition? They're not now.
They're not now. You could argue, and I think it's a fair argument, when they were on Monday nights, that was something.
They tried.
I would argue that maybe that they're right. They were competition back then.
The WWE is too big to compete with as a wrestling company. It doesn't. Tony Khan may be a billionaire, but the WWE is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Just
right.
The amount of merchandise they have, the licensing that they have. AEW is nowhere close.
Oh, not even, 100%. But
WWE is the Disney of pro wrestling. AEW is I don't even know. Not the Disney. They're not competing with Disney.
They're smaller, without question.
They're way smaller. The
But
only thing that separates AEW from Impact is that they tour and they have a better TV deal.
yeah, well, they actually, aren't in the same place all the time. That helps a lot. The Impact Zone was almost their death, pretty much.
Yeah. It's just not real competition to WWE. They are in the wrestling space as far as what wrestling fans watch and enjoy and all of that. But wrestling fans are already there. WWE just gets people that know very little about wrestling. They'll draw them in.
It's a show.
Yeah,
It's a show. It's a spectacle. Come see the spectacle. Come see the circus.
If you're a wrestling fan, a real wrestling fan like we are, then yeah, AEW's competition. But we're already there. So, I don't know. AEW needs to bring in more people. They're not
Well, I think it's
they're not
more
pushing the
storylines.
WWE, and people are fooling themselves if they think that they are.
I think just that need better storylines. I think the wrestling's fine. We just need more intriguing storylines. Get us more interested in what's going on. The best thing going on is the whole who's the devil. Besides that, it's slim pickings.
Edge and Christian.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad.
I like that. I think AEW has better wrestling.
This week on Dynamite, yeah, I thought so. Raw hurt with that stupid Battle Royal, but it was a good show, Raw, I thought.
I just think in general the match quality is higher in AEW.
It can be. It depends on the show, too.
They do way more. They let their guys really go.
It's a different style, too, though.
Yeah.
That's more fast-paced, like action, action, action. WWE is more about story, action, story, action. It's more cinema.
I think that's disrespectful to AEW. There's a lot of story there. There's just more action. I don't think that's fair. I think there's just as much story. I mean, not with everybody, but there's tons of story with the action.
I've been in the match. In the match, it's more...
I do too.
Oof. I feel that's where it hurts a lot. AEW, it's more about let's just do a bunch of moves, especially you see in the finishes too. And this is good and bad in a sense too. WWE, they'll have elaborate, screwy finishes where everyone gets involved. And in AEW, their finishes will be hit a move, hit a move, hit a move, hit a move, finish.
Yeah. But, when they hit their peaks are way higher than the WWE's.
Well, you can argue that, yeah, at their peak, the wrestling is probably better at their peak. But they don't always hit the peak, though.
You don't.
They don't always hit it, though.
Like, I'm saying the best matches that I've seen in 2023 have been in AEW.
That's a tough one, too. Again, I feel WWE's had some very good matches this year. Fantastic matches.
I don't think anything was better than Bryan and MJF.
Again, I'm a huge fan of... I know you hated that match, but I was a huge fan of Roman Solo against the Usos. Thought that was just a fantastic match.
I liked Roman and Cody better from Mania.
That was great too.
Mm-hmm.
But that tag match, I don't know, something about that tag match I'm just like, wow, this is perfect. This is the perfect match.
No, did not love it.
No, you didn't. Well, I think we watched that live together too. I know you did not love it.
Crown Jewel was terrible too, by the way. I think I did I do the post show by myself on Saturday? I think I did.
You did. And because of your review, I didn't even watch the show because you said it was so bad. I'm like, well, I guess I don't need to watch this if it's so bad.
It was very bad. It was a very bad show. Interference and
That's
everything.
disappointing.
Everything had interference. It was just awful. And nothing really good.
It must have looked great though. The whole like entrance and everything.
No.
And...
No, because it wasn't in the stadium. It was in like a 13,000 seat arena.
Oh, that's very disappointing.
Yeah. Didn't even have the majesty of the big stadium that they do it in sometimes. They did it in a smaller arena, which they've done before. Which sucked. It was like a house show.
You're right, Angela. I am hard to please. I'm very picky.
Yeah.
Fickle, maybe at times too.
You are fickle. Lauren says Dave is right. I agree with you, Lauren.
Oh, but right about what exactly? I don't understand.
Everything, John. Don't question
everything
it.
Everything just right.
Everything forever. Thank you, Lauren. You are correct. You liked Raw this week? You liked the Seth Rollins Sami Zayn promo? You liked Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn in the main event? I gotta say, I thought Sami Zayn, he's like, I had to help you, Seth Rollins, at Crown Jewel. I had to make sure Damian Priest didn't win the world title, because if he wins the world title, then they'll have all the belts, and they'll become just like the Bloodline, and I can't have that. He's got Bloodline PTSD. He gets all upset. It's just weird. It was weird.
I think it's funny. I like that, actually.
I get, but is it supposed to be funny? Because I thought it was kind of funny, but he played it like he really was upset. It was odd. I'm not sure what was going on there. Something's going on with Sami Zayn because he lost the match to Seth, and then he seemed a little bit mad. He shook his hand, but he was a little bit like, Match was good, though.
He reacted the way he should be, though. You lost a close match, and damn it, but, I'm going to shake your hand because I respect you,
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that was kind of off was I know your back's compromised. I don't want to hurt it. And then he's hurting it right at the end right there. He put the lion tamer on, Boston Crab. I'm like, okay.
Well, he wanted to win the title.
Don't hurt his... I get it. It makes sense. But it's like, you're trying to compromise the guy you didn't want to compromise.
So Seth beat Sami clean, retained the title. Judgment Day attacked Sami. Seth helped out, but then he got attacked too. And then Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes made the save, and they all started brawling. And Adam Pearce and agents and security separated everybody. And Pearce says, I'm tired of the games every week. If you want to play games, then it will be War Games. And I was like, I really just wanted the show to be over at that point. I was like, man, that was the hokiest.
That was the end of the show.
Most terrible delivery of anything. Oh, God. And then I'm like, really? That's a War Games match? Because if you break it down...
Makes sense.
Huh?
It makes sense. Judgment Day is the top faction in a sense right now.
Okay,
and all the faces on Raw.
Yeah, but if you break it down, okay, it's Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso. But then, if you break down what Judgment Day actually is, it's Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough. When those 8 guys are in that double ring, double cage, it's going to look real weird when you have 4 top guys like Sami, Seth, Jay, and Cody, and then you have Damian Priest and Finn Balor, and then the other 2. It's just, it seems unfair when they're matched up. But, whatever. It does make sense. Judgment Day, they keep, feuding with these guys, so sure. But on paper, the names are on the babyface side for sure. And you would expect the babyfaces to win pretty easily. Right? Unless, Sami turns or something, unless there's a turn. You would expect the babyfaces to win that, because how the hell do they lose?
Well, when you think about it, the heels should win, right? Because they're an actual team, a faction. They should win, actually. And I know you're looking at star power and they lack it, but the way they've been pushing it, Dominic Mysterio has been pushed as like a great champion lately. And they have JD there.
I think the women's match, they're going to do women's War Games too, and the women's heels are going to
on
win.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
What? Really? No, the heels are all messed up on SmackDown because they have trust issues. Bailey?
No trust issues. I don't know what you're talking about, trust issues. Everything seems good. They got a new super group
exactly
that they got to put over. They got to get that new super group over.
Bailey has trust issues. You saw that twice. It happened when Kari came out, and then Asuka turned on Bianca like at the end. Bailey was like, "What the heck?" twice. That's probably gonna happen at Survivor Series. I could see them turn on Bailey.
I don't know. I like that whole angle that they did tonight on SmackDown. I thought that was really good. I want to speculate on who Charlotte and I guess Bianca and what's her name? Shotzi, who their partner is going to be there for the War Games, but they're headed for a War Games match. Bailey cut a promo in the ring, and she's like, I had a plan for Crown Jewel, and I don't know what happened. So Io, Kyrie, and Dakota Kai all come out. And Io's like, look, I had a plan, and Kyrie helped me retain my belt, so it's all fine. And Bailey's like, yeah, but last time we saw Kyrie, this happened. And Bailey shows a clip of her from 2020 injuring Kyrie, putting her out of action, and then Kyrie kind of left the WWE for a while. Kyrie Sane came back at Crown Jewel to help Io Sky. And Dakota says, look, Kyrie's not in Damage Control to replace you. And Kyrie says that she respects Bailey as the leader of Damage Control and forgives her for injuring her. And then she wants a hug, and Bailey's like, I don't do that anymore, which I thought was a good line. But then they all did a group hug. And then Bianca came out, and she's like, I'm going to whoop all three of you. And then Charlotte came out, and Asuka came out. And then it's like, oh, we're going to have a 6-woman tag in the main event of this thing, which I thought was pretty cool. Charlotte, Asuka, Bianca against Bailey, Io, and Kyrie. I mean, that's a solid main event. There's a lot of talent on SmackDown.
I didn't think it was a good main event, but on paper, it sounded good.
I mean,
execution could have been better.
It was what it was. Bianca went to tag Asuka. Asuka spat the mist in Bianca's face. And Kyrie looked a little confused even. But Asuka was like, come here, Kyrie. And then they hugged. And then she's like, come here, Io. And then they hugged. And then they're like, come here, Bailey. And Bailey's like, me? And they're like, yeah. And then Bailey comes over and they all hug. And then they start beating up on the baby faces. And then Shotzi tried to save them and that didn't work. And then this giant babyface team of Asuka, Io, Kyrie, Bailey, and Dakota, new Damage Control. Damage Control gained 2 new members this week, Kyrie Sane and Asuka. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool group.
It's a big group.
I like it. I thought that was a good angle. It was fun. It was unexpected. I don't hate it. I don't know if Bailey gets tossed out of this group so quickly. They've been teasing friction with Bailey and the rest of Damage Control for months now, if not a year.
Right.
Nothing's happened. That's just the dynamic of Damage Control. Bailey's the leader, but she's like uneasy, you know? She feels there may be a mutiny at any point, and she's trying to captain the ship, but she knows she's got to look over her shoulder. I kind of like it because eventually they'll turn on her, you expect, and then she'll be a babyface, and we'll see. I don't know when it'll happen though. Maybe it'll happen at War Games, maybe not.
I mean, usually we're building up to Survivor Series. To WrestleMania. It starts at Survivor Series. So, I mean, if we're going with Io versus Bailey, which they've been building for quite a while, it makes sense to start it at Survivor Series. And if they lose, that causes the friction right there. Finally, the last straw. Bailey's out. And then we start that whole feud with Io versus Bailey. Bailey trying to take down the whole team.
Possibly. I mean, I could definitely see it. What do you think about the fourth member? We're expecting a War Games match. Asuka, Io, Kyrie, Bailey versus Charlotte, Shotzi, Bianca, somebody.
Right.
Could it be Sasha Banks?
I wasn't thinking that, but that's okay. Interesting. Wasn't thinking that, though, but something.
Where's she at?
Well, she was still hurt, no? She's not wrestling at all right now.
Yeah, but at some point she's going to come back to wrestling, and, you know, I don't think it's a guarantee that she's going to be in AEW.
I lean more towards that because they did show her recently.
So?
On All In. I would just think, I mean, it's same thing with Will Ospreay. It's like, you would think he would go to AEW, but he could go to WWE. It's impossible, but you'd lean more towards AEW because he's wrestled in AEW.
But, like, there's no contract, there's no guarantee. You know?
Of course.
Just because they were on AEW TV doesn't mean they're going to sign a contract with AEW. If there's WWE interest, they might go there.
I would just lean towards talent they have already that you can build with and make stories with instead of like, oh, we have to bring somebody in. It's not usually the WWE way. It's like, let's work with what we have. And if we have a hole, we'll fill it up with something. But we have the talent. They have more than enough talent. They don't need to bring someone in.
So who's the fourth member? Jade Cargill?
That would be, I think, their ideal pick would be that, right? But is she ready?
SmackDown.
That's the question.
It's too much.
Too much.
I mean, the women's division on SmackDown is so much better than the women's division on Raw.
Okay.
I mean, Raw just got a new wrestler in their division, Nia Jax. SmackDown gets Kairi Sane. Who won? Right? Look at the Raw women's division. Look at that battle royal that happened on Raw. Look who they have. It is an absolute mess. Rhea Ripley has no challengers. Guess who's going to wrestle Rhea Ripley at Survivor Series? Zoe Stark, because she won the battle royal. What?
Right.
They have nothing. They're waiting. Like SmackDown, they put all their stars in one match. They have them feuding with each other. They're doing everything. Raw, they have two stars. They keep them as far away from each other as possible until the right time. They've got Becky Lynch, they've got Rhea Ripley, and they can never cross paths until they're ready. Everybody else is like, eh. They have no stars on Raw. SmackDown, they have everybody. They got Charlotte. They got Bianca. They got Bailey. They got Asuka. They got Io. They got Kyrie. I mean, if they add Jade Cargill to that, I feel like Raw needs Jade Cargill. Raw needs something. They have such a weak division compared to Raw. This week was a prime example. Look at the Raw women's division and what they did with that battle royal, and look at the SmackDown women's division and what they presented with everything we saw tonight. Night and day.
Yeah, but SmackDown's the number one show. And if they want to make Jade into a big deal, you put her on the best show, no? Makes sense. Plus, just because she's the mystery person doesn't mean she has to be on SmackDown. It can just be, oh, there was an open slot, I took it, but that was Survivor Series. Doesn't mean I'm on SmackDown or Raw. I can still play either or. I haven't signed a contract with either or yet, so you could play it off like that.
Yeah. It is strange, though, how the SmackDown women's division is just so stacked, and the Raw women's division is just kind of weak. And Angelo says that's why SmackDown is the better show, because of that women's division, and he's not wrong.
Well, and Roman Reigns. I mean,
He's never on the show. What are you talking about?
yeah, but when he's around, it's the best thing going. I mean, he's the actual world champion, not
Yeet.
Seth Franklin. You know, like
Yeet.
Didn't Jimmy say no yeet?
No yeet. Well, because Roman called him,
Yeah.
and he said, because Roman doesn't like the yeet, right? Roman's always like,
Yeah.
don't do that. I don't like that. Don't do the yeet. Jimmy Uso will wrestle LA Knight, next week on SmackDown, because of course Jimmy Uso cost LA Knight the WWE Championship. He hit the blunt force trauma on Roman Reigns and had him beat, but then Jimmy put Roman's foot on the ropes, and LA Knight beat Grayson Waller tonight after the BFT. Kevin Owens was on SmackDown, which made SmackDown, or was on commentary on SmackDown, which made the show quite a bit better. I enjoyed his commentary. He's good. He's fun.
Kevin talks a lot of nonsense, but he's entertaining.
Yeah.
And if anyone's going to talk nonsense, it should be him. And the problem is when people try to be like Kevin, it doesn't work as well. Because, like, with Kevin, it's natural. He's just naturally a jerk like that. But, well, he knows that. I'm not saying anything that's not true. But when other people do it, they're just trying to be like Kevin. It doesn't sound as good. Or Kevin, it's perfect because that's him.
He was very good on commentary, but he was told he wasn't supposed to get physically involved or he will be suspended. And then Austin Theory threw like a bottle at him, and then Kevin got mad and he went to attack Austin Theory, but Theory ducked out and Kevin hit the stunner on Grayson Waller instead. So Kevin might be in trouble, they're saying. Might be suspended.
Well, he was provoked, so
yeah,
he shouldn't be suspended for that.
I thought we had some decent matches tonight on SmackDown. Bobby Lashley getting the win over Carlito. I like seeing Carlito and Bobby Lashley mix it up in the ring. I thought the match was all right. Some interference from the Street Profits led to Lashley getting the win. After the match, Street Profits and Bobby attacking Carlito, and Santos Escobar just kind of watched, because there was a promo before the match where Santos Escobar said, Carlito said, hey, Santos Escobar was the one that left the brass knucks on the ring apron so Logan Paul could grab them, and maybe he was trying to turn on Ray. But Santos was like, no, I didn't mean to do it, and Ray was like, I don't know. And then, so Santos was a little bit upset with Carlito, so he just allowed his friend or teammate or whatever to get beat up by Street Profits. And then Rey Mysterio came out, and he got mad at Santos, and he pushed Santos. And then Ray went to check on Carlito, and then Santos got mad and attacked Ray. And he seemed to feel bad about it. He's like, you made me do this to you. I love you. Why did you do this? And Zelina got all mad, and she was crying and told him to leave. So Santos turning on the LWO. It was odd. Bit of an overreaction from Santos Escobar.
Well, I've been building, though. We've been seeing this for a while now, where it felt like there was friction or issues with him and Ray, and it was finally going to happen. It just finally happened.
Yeah.
I just think on the same show, where you have another turn, you start the show with the turn, end the show with the turn. It's a little much. Takes away a little bit from the turns when you do two turns in the same show, but I guess they felt they had to do something on the show because you had no Roman.
Is Roman back next week?
I think Solo returns next week. I'm not joking, but they had the graphic for it. Solo's cool.
They did advertise Solo's back next week, not Roman. Roman will probably be back in 2 weeks when they're in Chicago the night before Survivor Series.
I could see that. Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, they're doing SmackDown in Chicago the night before Survivor Series in Chicago. So Roman will be in town at least. He might appear.
Maybe.
I mean, not being on SmackDown tonight, he won't be on SmackDown next week. Next week, and then the week after is the day before Survivor Series. Survivor Series is in 2 weeks. So,
well, who's to say Roman's at Survivor Series? I don't think he will be.
Oh shit, you're probably right, eh? He's not going to be at Survivor Series at all. He won't be defending the title. He won't be in War Games. He's not even going to be on the card.
Right.
Holy shit, that's great.
Tribal Chief, number 1. Knowledge, come on.
The only belt defended at Survivor Series will be
There'll be 2 titles.
Gunther's Intercontinental title.
That I want to say that there'll be another
Rhea Ripley
match,
and Zoe Stark.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Well, that
makes sense.
I think.
Yeah, that's confirmed. Yeah, it's confirmed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, big title matches at Survivor Series this year. There was a botch in that 4-way to determine the new number 1 contender for Gunther.
Right.
It was a 4-way. It was Ricochet, Bronson Reed, Miz, and Ivar. And there was a double pin. Ricochet was getting pinned by Ivar, and Bronson was getting pinned by Miz. And the referee was kind of looking and went 1, 2, and then Ricochet for some reason kicked out. And then the ref was like 3, but I think Ricochet was not supposed to kick out. Apparently, you're telling me Ricochet was concussed. He got all whacked in the head earlier in the match, and he didn't know what was going on, which led to the botched finish. And it was supposed to be Ivar and Miz both winning, leading to a triple threat, but instead, Miz just won. There was a lot of confusion, too, after the match. You could tell all the guys in the ring were like, what? The referee was like trying to wave him off. The ring announcer started announcing Miz as the winner, and the referee was like, no. The referee never gave the call as to who won, but the ring announcer was like, Miz won! It's like, what? It was...
well, he did.
Yeah, I know, but it was a debacle. Total debacle.
It's sad what happens, but when people get rocked in a match, that happens sadly, and kudos to Ricochet to continue on because he got rocked before they went to commercial break. So the fact that he kept going when he was already hurt, like it's big up to him. Also, you got to question WWE, like they didn't see that. Because, I noticed that. How did they not see that?
Don't know. But Miz will wrestle Ivar next week where they will, Monday Night on Raw, where they will figure out a way to have a reason to make it a triple threat at Survivor Series with Gunther for the Intercontinental title. How did Dragon Lee not get hurt when he landed on his head tonight after that over-the-head throw? His match with Cedric Alexander. Did you see that?
I saw it. He's very flexible.
Yeah.
That's it. He's probably taken bumps like that before in the past. But you don't want to take too many of those. Your bump card goes up a lot higher with that stuff.
I saw that. I was like, oh, that's Dragon Lee doing Dragon Lee things. I didn't think that he'd do that kind of stuff in WWE. I've seen him do that stuff before, but you don't take bumps like that usually in WWE. That was dangerous. I've seen him do that before, but in promotions where they allow that kind of stuff. This was SmackDown. I was shocked. Dragon Lee beat Cedric Alexander with a pinfall after Destino. The match was great, but it was the same finish as the match that they did 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. I'm not sure why they are repeating this. This match happened 2 weeks ago. I know why.
They repeat it because they need a good showing of Dragon Lee. And Cedric Alexander is the best guy they have for that because not a lot of guys can take and give what Dragon Lee can do, right? So Cedric Alexander can do that stuff. So do it again, because we have nobody else to showcase him. This is the problem with Dragon Lee. When you get to top talent, you're not going to be able to do all the stuff you've done with Cedric Alexander. So there's a limit to how far they can go with him, sadly.
I don't know. Hopefully he can adapt because he's really good.
He's going to have to. It's the only way.
He's really good.
We've seen it with Sin Cara. Like, this only gets you so far.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why they turned Santos heel, so he could work with Dragon Lee.
Probably. That makes a lot of sense, yeah. See that.
Because he could do it. And those matches would be good, so. There's that. What else is happening? I mean, you liked Raw. You liked the Creed Brothers DIY match. Kaiser interfered to help the Creed Brothers win.
Thought DIY showed a lot of great tag team maneuvers. They really show that they're a great tag team. Creed Brothers, they're still new, but it was a better showing of them in this match. So, like, there's potential there.
Finn Balor and Damian Priest beat the New Day on Raw, which just makes me sad. I don't want the New Day to lose to these guys. That was a good match because it's the New Day. They're probably the greatest tag team in WWE history. So, yeah, obviously the New Day had a good tag team match, but they're just there to make Finn and Damian Priest look good as a tag team. When you're the tag team champions, you get a win over the New Day on Raw in a match like that, ups your stock. Which is fine, but it's just like, man, remember when the New Day was the focus of everything? They're just there now. They've got more to give than to just be there. There's so little focus on New Day that it just makes me sad because I love those guys. It makes me smile every time I see them on TV. And for them to just kind of be part of the crew, not really featured, no real direction, not booked for pay-per-views. It's like, what happened?
Well, it's the same act over and over again. It's good, but we've been down this road many times before. It's what else can we do with it at this point?
I don't know. I think there's room. I think there's stuff you can do. They could help, Cody and Sammy and Jey Uso with the Judgment Day or whatever. You're like, how come they're not involved in any of that? Have they had any interactions with Jey Uso since he's been back on Raw? They have a lot of history with him. There's just so little of them around. It's like, well, you say, what can you do with them? Well, are they trying anything?
They do little things with them, but yeah, nothing big. I think the problem is that they're too much comedy. So you can't put them with a lot of people because then it kind of drags down the segment in terms of it's not serious. And everything's already kind of a joke anyways.
Yeah, so they fit right in because they're actually funny. Well, they're actually entertaining when they do it, they're good.
But I think what makes them good is what's also hurting them in a sense. Where it's like they don't want too much comedy, so they can't put them in those segments.
I don't understand. Ivar's tag team partner gets hurt. He's getting an Intercontinental title shot at Survivor Series. Goddamn Kofi and Woods are there. They don't get Intercontinental title shots. They don't get matches. They don't get anything significant.
Yeah, but to be fair as well, how many times has Kofi Kingston got an IC title match? I think even Xavier's gotten at least an IC title match in the past. This is Ivar's first, so this is something new.
I'm not saying anything bad about Ivar. I'm just saying, something bad about The Miz. Why is Miz involved in this? Miz sucks. Kofi's great. Why Miz? No Miz. Give me Woods or Kofi instead. Anytime the WWE thinks of booking The Miz, they should think, no, I'm going to do this Kofi's going to do this, or Woods is going to do this, or they'll both do it. Instead of booking a Miz segment, make it the New Day instead. Every time. How about that? That's a start.
Well, I think it just comes down to the fact that they've both been there a long time. So they all get their moments when they're there for a long time. And I think Kofi's had his moments more recently than Miz. So now Miz gets his turn ahead of Kofi.
When was Miz WWE champion?
Okay, yeah, but that was such a short little transition reign.
He was WWE champion more recently than Kofi.
Sure. But like at a minor point, like a little blimp in history.
Still happened.
Where Kofi got Kofi Mania. That was a bit bigger of a deal than what the Miz did with his little cash in that he won the briefcase in a match. And then lost it before WrestleMania. So he wasn't even a part.
Kofi didn't just become WWE champion for the first time ever at WrestleMania in front of his whole family and all his friends. He beat Bryan Danielson to do it.
Right?
Greatest wrestler of all time, Bryan Danielson.
Well, the big thing, too, to me, this will always be the biggest thing and shows you how great Kofi is. That wasn't even what they were going with originally. It's just he caught on, and they changed the whole plan. Like Bryan, I don't think Bryan was supposed to lose originally going into Mania because that wasn't originally Kofi, but Kofi caught on. It's like, well, we have to do this, and it kind of killed Bryan's whole run that he was doing, which is kind of unfortunate, but good for Kofi.
What are you gonna do? What's done is done. But I mean, Kofi hasn't really had many moments since then. They've done a lot with Miz. Give me more Kofi. Give me more Woods. Give me far less Miz. Far less. Ugh.
Well, he's going to get moments. As much as you don't like him, he's going to get his moments every now and then. So you just have to live with these ones, sadly.
I do like the idea of Gunther beating the shit out of the Miz, though. I do kind of like that. Because I think Gunther...
If it happens.
I mean, yeah, but that's it. I don't think Miz is really gonna, he's gonna bitch out like he always does, because he sucks. He's a fucking bitch of a wrestler. He's garbage. But Gunther, like fucking, just give me 20 chops in the match. Make Miz's chest bleed. Give me that.
Well, I think there's a reason why it's going to be a triple threat.
Yeah, because Miz is scared of Gunther and he needs Ivar in there to take some shit.
Yeah.
What a punk. Miz. Awful. Coming up on Raw, we've got Otis versus Nakamura. Nakamura beat Akira Tozawa. What a shocker on Raw. The shocker was Tozawa got a match.
Tozawa looked good though in that match, I thought.
He's not bad. Match. He's not a bad wrestler. He's never
not.
been bad. Why he stuck around for so long? He's actually pretty good. And he's got charisma. But, against Nakamura, you're like, okay, let's be real.
Flop-sided, yeah.
But against Otis, might be a bit more of a challenge for old Nakamura. Tegan Nox will wrestle Piper Niven on Raw. Get ready for that, John.
Yeah. More bad women's wrestling, okay.
And Miz will wrestle Ivar. The big match they're promoting for SmackDown will be Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso challenging the Judgment Day for the tag team titles. I don't think Cody and Jey take him back, right? I mean, that'd be weird.
Not impossible, but probably not. It's weird what they're doing with the tag titles. It feels like they could lose them at any point because they just recently won them back, but stranger things have happened.
They won them back on Raw, right?
Exactly.
So maybe drop them on Raw again? Like,
Tag titles are kind of in flux right now. It's like they could really go any way right now. So
yeah. Yeah, maybe. Why else are they having this match? I guess to set up the War Games. More hype for War Games. Right?
But that's why it can go either way.
I'd be surprised to see another title change, though. Be a bit much.
It's a bit much, but I didn't expect 2 turns tonight, and it happened. So it feels like they're really trying to overbook stuff.
Yeah. But I feel like Kevin and Sammy just dropped the belts. You know? They dropped them to Judgment Day. Then Judgment Day dropped them to Cody and Jay. Then Cody and Jay dropped them back to Judgment Day. And then Judgment Day is going to drop them back to Cody and Jay. It's just like, it's weird. I don't think it's going to happen. Not Monday, anyways.
Right.
All right. I think we're good. Any questions before we go? Angelo, you got a question? Shout out to Angelo Contagonis, member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. Johnny has a question. I'm looking forward to that. Leor. Shout out Leor as well. Shout out to Ryan Cass, Jimmy James, Alex Terrace, Matthew Henley, all watching live tonight on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching us live on Rumble as well. We'll get to John's question. What's John's question? Yes?
Have you heard the new Beatles song?
No.
Really? Wow, I'm surprised. You know of it though, right?
What?
You know that it exists, that the Beatles came out with a new song.
I mean, I heard that a song was released that they said was the Beatles.
Yeah.
But I mean, when was it made?
Well, apparently, like, John Lennon made like a demo tape, like, of a song, and with the power of AI, they helped like make it into an actual song with the members that are still alive.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I know it exists, but I'm just not that interested. I don't.
Okay.
I'm more interested in something I heard this week on Drink Champs about MOP was on Drink Champs. I mean, I know I'm using a bunch of words right now, John, that you don't understand, but somebody out there understands what I'm talking about. You know who MOP is? You know what Drink Champs is?
I do not know.
Cool. MOP is a rap group. Drink Champs is a podcast about rap music.
Okay.
Noriega hosts it. Nori, Capone and Noriega. You know. You don't know.
I don't, but go on.
Anyways, it's a very, very, very popular podcast, and it's a very, very good podcast, and I love it. I think Drink Champs is great because it's a bunch of rappers from the 90s and 2000s and 80s, just, old school rappers for the most part. Sometimes they have some of the younger guys. They had an episode with Kodak Black recently that was kind of weird. Kodak Black seems not well. But anyways, MOP was on, Mash Out Posse. You got to love MOP. You know the song Annie Up? You know the song. Annie Up. You know that song, right?
I don't think so.
What? That's MOP. Annie Up. You don't know Annie Up? I can't play it for you now. I'll play it for you after the show. I'm sure you've heard it. It's like a big song.
Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
Don't play
it's a song that's everywhere, and it's about robbery. It's just about robbing people, taking their shit. It's like a very hardcore rap song, but it's in the Ninja Turtles movie. I heard that in a Ninja Turtles movie, like the most recent Ninja Turtles movie. I heard Annie Up by MOP. I'm like, this song is in Ninja Turtles? Like, this is not appropriate for the children. But, if they don't play certain parts of it, they could get away with it. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's like, damn.
They do that a lot of movies, though. They only play certain parts of a song that's kind of controversial.
Annie Up, jack that fool. Annie Up, kidnap that fool. It's like, serious. Anyways, so I was listening to MOP on Drink Champs, And one of the guys said that there is a song out there with Biggie Smalls and ODB that was made before Ready to Die. And they were like, what? Like, I need to hear that. That's what I need to hear. That's a real song that was made that's just unreleased. It's somewhere. It exists. This guy in MOP was like, I had it on a tape. It was on a mixtape. ODB and Biggie in the studio together doing a song, and that song is out there somewhere. Brooklyn. That's crazy to me.
Cool.
That I want to hear.
Wow.
That I want to hear. Another crazy story. Recently I heard on Drink Champs, Method Man was on Drink Champs. You know who Method Man is, right?
Yeah, I've heard of Method Man.
Okay. METHOD, man. You know, from the Wu-Tang Clan? You know the Wu-Tang Clan, John, right? The RZA.
Did he host
Jizzle,
Raw one time?
Old Dirty Bastard, Inspector Deck, Ghostface Killer, You Got. What?
Did he host Raw once? I don't know if he hosted Raw, but he definitely was on Raw.
Yeah, for sure he's been on Raw. Method Man has definitely been on Raw, possibly with Redman.
That's why I'm thinking. Did Method Man and Redman not host Raw? I could be
possibly
wrong.
Maybe during the How High days. I don't know. That was a good movie. How High?
It's possible. But
one time I was at a show. Redman jumped into the crowd and he landed on my head. Redman.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Were you okay?
I was like 14 or 15 at the time. I was a little shaken up, but it was all right.
Wow.
Yeah. I was all right. I'm tough, you know. But yeah, Redman landed on me one time. Redman.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm a big Redman fan. I'm a bigger Method Man fan, though, I would say. Anyways, Method Man told this story about how Big L used to sell him angel dust, which I thought was crazy. Big L, rest in peace. You don't know who Big L is. Big L was a very good rapper who died way before his time. Way before.
That happens a lot in rap.
Yeah, a lot of rappers tend to get murdered. It's unfortunate. I wish we had more Big L music. I'll tell you that much. I wish there was way more Big L music. Big L was incredible. Flamboyant Entertainment. Big L. Rest in peace. Drink Champs. That's my favorite podcast, John. Angela has a question for us. What would be your dream match between wrestlers who've never wrestled each other one-on-one? Well, I think easy for me, easy peasy, it would be Bryan Danielson versus Bret the Hitman Hart. That would be my dream match. That is the match that I think would be the greatest wrestling match that you could ever put together. The two best wrestlers of all time against each other. Bret versus Bryan. That would be my dream match. John?
Well, we can go down that route of like ever, but you know, let's be more like guys who could actually have a match. Let's say that dream match. I would love to see like guys who it could actually
like
happen
active.
one day. It's possible.
Okay.
Active, exactly. Could actually happen. Like for me right now, it's Roman versus CM Punk. Like that's the match. Like the greatest world champion right now against the real world champion. That's the biggest match you could do. That's the match I'd want to see the most.
I think MJF versus Roman would be cooler.
It's just, well, it'd be probably a better match, possibly, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But MJF, he's just starting. Like he's just building his legacy right now, and it's going well. But it's too early for that. But Punk, he's already established. You know everything about Punk. Like the lore of Punk is well defined. MJF, it's just building. It's too early for that.
I would rather.
I mean, one day, sure.
I would rather see Punk wrestle Bryan Danielson than Roman Reigns.
I would have said that, but they've wrestled each other before, though.
Yeah, that's true. That was who've never wrestled before, right? 1-on-1. Okay.
Yep. Well, actually, you know what? That's not completely accurate because I think Roman has wrestled Punk before on a Raw, and I think Roman beat Punk.
Really?
So, yeah. I'm almost 100% positive about this. I'm leaning more 80% positive. Roman has beat Punk in the past, so it's not really a never happened before kind of thing. So going back on it, yeah, I guess Roman versus MJF because there's nobody else in terms of dream things. And you want to look at the world champion versus world champion, that's the match.
Dream matches that are impossible, though. Bryan versus Brett. Hogan versus Austin. Hogan versus Austin would have been cool. Like peak Hulkamania versus peak 316.
Of course. Even Hogan versus Cena. I don't like Cena, but like that's still a big match if it could have ever happened.
Johnny North, you are correct again. January 6, 2014. I am watching it currently. After Dean Ambrose jumped up on the apron to distract CM Punk, Punk knocked Ambrose off the apron, turned around, ate a spear from Roman Reigns. 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. The Tribal Chief, the One, beat CM Punk clean in the middle of the ring January 2014 on Raw. It did happen.
Yeah.
And Roman
So I'll
won.
go with Roman.
I love that Roman won even back then. That's so crazy.
Well, I think what's crazy is I think Punk beat every member, but he didn't beat Roman. Which is even more hilarious when you think about it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with Roman and MJF, though. I think you're right with that because that match has already happened. So
yeah, right. Because Roman Punk has already happened. Roman MJF would be incredible. What else is out there that's possible that hasn't happened? I mean, very few matches. Right?
Well, I mean, if Sting could actually wrestle a singles match, there's a bunch of matches for Sting, right? But Sting only does tag matches, so there's not too much. And I feel like in the tag division, he's done everything with Darby now. There's no match where it's like, I really want to see that. Even him and Darby against like the Young Bucks, like, I'm not dying for that. I don't know about you.
No. I think Edge has a lot of cool stuff he can do in AEW right now. A lot of new matchups we've never seen. You know, like Edge versus Darby is cool. Edge versus MJF would be cool. Edge versus Samoa Joe. Edge has never had a singles match with Samoa Joe, which he talked about. That would be cool. You know, like there are some pretty cool matches for Edge. I don't know about all-time dream matches, but there's some good stuff for Edge to do in AEW. New stuff.
Yep. No, there's definitely a lot for Edge, actually. Hopefully he has a decently long run.
Yeah. I love it. I'll be watching... I won't be watching Collision tomorrow night. Forget that. Because, you know.
You might know already if it's been taped.
Let's see. You want to know what's happening on Collision tomorrow? I could give you some spoilers.
Well, let's find out. Was it actually taped?
Yeah.
And they're taping it right now.
Yeah.
That's actually better. I'm glad. They should do that more often. Have Rampage, then have Dynamite. I think more people would, be there. But I guess they have to get the Ring of Honor tapings in, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
it makes sense. Matter. It makes sense to do the taping here the way they did it. Andrade will wrestle Daniel Garcia. Dalton Castle will wrestle Nick Wayne.
Okay.
Lance Archer and the Righteous will take on Sting, Darby Allin, and Edge.
Wow. That's a big match for Collision.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And that's all I know so far. Julia Hart will wrestle Willow Nightingale.
Okay.
And Rush and Dralistico will wrestle the Workhorsemen. I'm not really sure who that is.
Oh, that's JD Drake,
No.
I think, and Anthony Henry.
Okay.
Bunch of them good.
I don't know. But Sting, Darby, and Edge versus Lance Archer and the Righteous. That is pretty cool. Tomorrow night on Collision.
Wow. Sting wrestling on Dynamite and Collision in the same week. Wow. That's good of Sting to be more active in this final run right here.
But I'll be watching the UFC because we got the UFC 295 watch along set for tomorrow night. Big fights here on the Ringside Report Network, and I will be back here with you tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, when the pay-per-view starts. That's when the show starts. UFC 295, Yuri Prohaska, Alex Pereira in the main event for the light heavyweight title. Co-main event, heavyweight title, interim heavyweight title, Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. Big night of fights tomorrow night in New York City at Madison Square Garden, and we will be covering it for you here, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the Ringside Report Network. Thank you to everybody tuning in here tonight. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis. Shout out to Lior and, of course, Jason Pete, all the members over at membership.ringsidereport.net or join.ringsidereport.net. Thank you for signing up and supporting the Ringside Report Network. We will see you again real soon. Johnny North, you have a match you want to plug before we go?
Well, I just wrestled last week, so nothing yet. I'll let you know in a couple weeks, hopefully.
And that match is out on YouTube. Did you put it on your Twitter?
It's out there somewhere. Not Twitter, Instagram. It's somewhere out there.
All right. Well, it's somewhere out there. I'll retweet it.
I don't own the video, so I'm not allowed to really like.
Well, you can promote it on your social media.
I can promote it. I liked it. Hopefully, you see my likes, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Check him out. Johnny North. He's the man. And I'll see you tomorrow night right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net.